Hello, I'm Don Lesky Sr. I'm writing a book, and I've got one book on Amazon.com right now. Different and exciting ways to make money. This is my second book I'm working on. I haven't quite finished it yet, but I want to go ahead and read some of it. It'll help me to write the book better, and also maybe help people out there to see if they might like to buy the book. I'm on my second chapter, and it's all about business. Now, in my first chapter, I had gone over some things like well, first of all, the name of the book is Landlord-Tenant Nightmares. I am a landlord. I'm a property manager. Been managing property for about 30 years. This is a crazy business. It's I tell my staff at the office, it's like a zoo. Fuck, you scared me. God damn, my wife's looking at me and just sneaking around the corner and peeking at me. You scared me. Oh man, I love my wife, man, but it scared me there a little bit. All right, so hey, I'm not easily scared. I don't know, I might have to start this over again. Oh well, anyway, and the first chapter I read was the intro and a little bit about some of the things we've experienced, and mainly it's kind of an expose on being a landlord and some of the things we've dealt with. In the first chapter, I talked about a bunch of transients that had just kind of moved into one of our vacant houses, and I don't know, they brought in a little bit of bedding, like sleeping bags and stuff, and decided to just camp out. And this is actually fairly common. People that are homeless or nowhere to go, they'll look for an empty house, and they'll just, I don't know, they just find a place to sleep at night, and they break in or break a window, kick a door in, whatever they got to do, and somehow justify it that it's okay. But this one group had gotten in. I got a call from a neighbor, and the neighbor had said, hey, since we have our for rent sign out front, it says for rent with our phone number, this neighbor said, hey, you got some people that have broken in that house there. Well, shit, that's one of the worst things to hear when you're a landlord. So I called up one of my guys, and he happened to have a carry permit. He packed a gun. It's open carry, and it is legal in Washington State for a person that's licensed to carry a gun openly. Anyway, I called him up and I said, let's call him Joe or David or whatever. Anyway, I said, hey David, let's go. There's somebody breaking into this house. So he teamed up with me. We ran out there, and when we come to the house, we saw that there was a broken window where they had made entry. But I had the key for the door anyway, so we went on in. And as soon as we went in, I said, hey, you motherfuckers! We're here with guns drawn, and we're going to start shooting if you don't get the fuck out of here. So it was, I was just pretty rude about it, sorry to say, but anyway, personally, I don't have too much fear of people. I don't know why. I'm probably stupid, but maybe it's the 5 years of martial arts that I had. Jeet Kune Do. I'm not too scared of nobody. Just fucking wrap them around just twist them into a pretzel. But I don't know. I'm 285 pounds, 6 foot tall. Could be that's one reason people don't mess with me. But I try to be kind to people, and I really try to be nice and a good person. But sometimes I get real heated, and this is one of those times where I went in there and yelling and screaming and guns drawn, and man, these guys went out the window like rabbits. They were gone. Yeah, man. Anyway, but that was just one of many things that we've been into. I think I went into some of the prostitution and things. It's called The Tip of the Iceberg. That was Chapter 1. Well, I've got Chapter 2 here ready to go. Let me find my spot here. It's called The Business. And I'll read it like this. Over the years, a few property managers, both men and women, have not handled the stress very well, and they've quit. So along the way, I'm going to kind of ad-lib here, and I'm going to tell you a few things that's not in the book just because it comes to my mind. And I know one guy that I had hired. He's a good-looking, middle-aged gentleman. I don't know, he's probably 45 years old, maybe a little 48, I don't know, I don't remember now. But nice guy. He was also a licensed contractor. So he had built homes and had a lot of experience selling homes. But he said, oh yeah, I can be a property manager. There's nothing to it. It's easy stuff. Well, on the surface, putting a tenant into an owner's home, because we represent owners. We have probably 500 rentals. And yeah, on the surface, it's pretty simple. You find a tenant, you advertise, I got a house for rent, and you find that tenant, screen them, and put them in this owner's home, right? But man, there is so much more to it than that. Anyway, I put 100 files on this guy's desk, and I said, well, he's starting out brand new with the company, and I said, well, here you go. To give you an analogy, our girls that are working for us today, they're handling 250 doors. So I give this guy 100 doors to handle. Anyway, and I said, well, here's your workload. Mainly what I want you to do is call these owners, send them an email, give them a call, and the tenants. Just introduce yourself and say, hey, you're working with BCI Properties right now, and you've been assigned their file and here, who you are, and so on. Just an introduction. If you can be of help, just give you a call or email you. So the emails are the most important because we can prove there's a track record. And any communication going back and forth has to be by email, primarily, if it's of any importance. Of course, we can't help talking to people on the phone. But email is very important, and it gives us a track record that if, let's say, for instance, a tenant had a complaint or something that was needed and they put an email, later we could draw that email and say, well, here's what was said. Anyway, this guy, I put 100 files on his desk, and all he had to do was contact them. He says, man, you are kidding me. And he looked like a deer in headlights, you know, just like, so I said, oh man, he's like his hand on his forehead, right? Like, oh man, like he was grieving. And I'm thinking, you know, I was thinking, man, what's the matter with this guy? But anyway, he worked at it for 2 or 3 days, and he finally quit. He said, man, I can't handle this. It's too much work. So it kind of amazed me and shocked me at the time, because to me, I'd been handling 135 doors and running the business and doing the advertising and doing all the notice postings and doing all this, while my wife was in the office. She's doing all the accounting and doing the reception work as a receptionist and accounting, and she's kind of running back and forth. 6 years ago, we had 1 employee. we had no company cars, one employee. Today, 6 years later, we have 10 employees and 4 company cars and 2 maintenance vans. So we just kind of evolved that way. Now, I've been managing rentals for over 30 years, but it's just a few. I only had like 20 or 30, and then it grew to be 40 and so on, because we were selling properties. And as a salesperson, the big money is in sales. But I also did a little, a bit with rentals. Rentals doesn't pay much. If we're getting maybe 10% on a rental. So if we charge $1,200 a month for rent, we get 10% of that. That would have been $120. Well, you know and I know that nobody can live on $120 a month, not in America anyway. So it takes numbers to be able to make it. So anyway, the guy quit, and it can be. I like to tell my employees, this is like a zoo. It is all different kinds of animals that you deal with, right? It's a dirty business. Can be a dirty business. Not that you're going to get your hands dirty so much as you're dealing with people that are not happy they have to pay the rent. Rent is a large portion of a person's monthly income. So they have to make their rent, they have to make 3 times the rent to qualify for a rental. So if they're paying $1,000 a month rent, they need to be making a minimum of $3,000 a month. And that's just the rule. It's very industry-wide. It's fairly common. And there's always exceptions to every rule. Now, I would like to say this, and I don't know, but kind of it follows suit. Man, I don't know any other way to put it, but real estate agents are bums. Okay, there I've said it. Most licensed real estate agents are bums. And I'll tell you, that's my opinion. God is my witness. But bums are not necessarily as bad or as greedy as some realtors. Now not all, but many real estate agents are compelled by greed. No different than sometimes people on welfare who don't need to be on welfare. There are people on welfare that do not need to be on welfare. They're getting Section 8, they're getting welfare. It's just a fact. They're more than able and capable of having a job, and they don't do it. They take that free money, and they feel they're entitled to it. They have an entitlement. Just bullshit. Now, some people need welfare. They deserve it. They should be on it. And we should help those people. But there's so much red tape and waste in government, I don't even need to go there. That's just a whole nother, maybe I'll write a book about that next. Anyway, some real estate agents have an aloof personality. And they'll put their tie on, and they'll wear their nice suit, and the women will dress to the T like they're going to church every day. You know what I'm saying? And they'll be looking good too. Oh my God, they're sharp. You can take a picture of them at any time of the day or night, any given time, and they are looking good. The picture on their business card is sharp. They're very professional. They put that appearance out. Now, that's okay, and I guess it's okay in general, because they want to be professional. The people that are selling a house, It's their biggest investment of their lifetime. They want to be able to trust who they're dealing with. And here's somebody that looks good and has a suit and a tie on and is dressed real nice. And they may tend to trust that person more. And, oh, here's a professional person that knows what they're doing. You can tell they are dressed for success, right? And justly so. Who wants to do business with somebody that looks like a beggar in tattered clothing or unkempt, right? But beneath the surface of that veneer, you don't know who these people are. Some, not all, some are just greedy bums. Cutthroat. Man, this is a cutthroat industry.